Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to go over numbers and price. So, like I said, the most important thing is rounding your numbers at all times, and it's just because people are attracted to round numbers and like quarter numbers and stuff like that. Like everyone's used to rounding numbers. So, for example, let's say, what's a good example? Let's say you go and buy a car, for example. Let's say you buy a car and it's 24,990, so $990. Okay, so psychologically you would think, okay, well, I'll buy it at 25,000, not 24,990. I'll buy it at 25,000. Same with quarter numbers. So for example, 220, we would round to 225. Or if it says 248, we would round to 250, stuff like that. So the banks are really attracted to these numbers, and the big players in the market will, like I said, risk the most amounts of money at these specific prices. So when you're learning Forex, especially if you're learning from people that like talk about indicators and all these other things, you're not really relating to price. Like you're focusing more on the candlesticks and not actually focusing on price. And that's one of the major things that you need to do is focus on price, because Forex realistically is all about numbers. So what we want to do is focus on like the even levels. So for example, I'll show you. So we're going to start with the 0 zeros, okay? So we'll use red. Okay? So we will start with 113. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to back this up a little bit so we don't have too much price action happening here. Let me back it up to like here. Oops. Okay. So on the daily time frame, we have a low here, we have a high here. Okay, so I'm just gonna start like marking up the points, and then you're gonna see my whole point to it. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the half mark. So when we're looking at price, for example, like let's say we're looking at 1.15000. Okay. The next a quarter price would be 1.15200. Half price would be 1.15500. 3/4 price would be 1.15800, and then we're back to an even number completely, a round full number. Okay? So that's really what it comes down to. And like I said, I'll get more into it and show you. So we're going to start with the half numbers now. Okay, so let's just break it down. So then we also have the 3/4, but I don't want to get too messy. So let's just break it down here. Okay, so near these numbers, so for example, let's start here. Start at 114.5, okay? So right near this price is where price came up and tried to reject, okay? So it went past 114.2, tried to reach 114.5 and started to exhaust, and then broke below the 114.2 and came below. So then went to 13.5, tested, and then came up to structure. Okay, so then let's I'll put in the 18 after, but this is close to 113.18. So then what ended up happening is it dropped, faked out below this 113 level, then came above, tested 113.2 to a T, then came back down, tested this 12.5, came up, broke, tested this 12.2. Like literally it's right on point each time, right? And if it's not, it's false. It's making a false breakout and then coming above structure, retesting this structure, and then continuing down. So these numbers are really important because they're rejecting off them every single time. Like they're very, very close. Sometimes it's, like I said, it's coming down. If it's not coming to 111.5, it's going to 11.2. And then it's reversing, wicking, and going up. And then same with here. Coming down to 11.5, wicking up and closing above that specific price, and then a reversal. Like it makes so much sense, and this is why you have to make sure you're getting in on a specific price, and especially a round price, because that's what's so important for this. So for example here, like let's draw our 118 levels. Okay, so 112.800. Look, it respected it to the T, and it's respected it in the past as well. So this is really, really, really important that you back test. So we're going to do another example on a different chart. Okay, so look, like here, I'll show you. Look how well these numbers are respecting that specific price. Like it's crazy. And guys, how I learned this is, so most of you know that I never got taught by anybody in specific in trading or a course or anything like this or like that. How I learned this is I had a couple buddies that they still do, they work for Bloomberg and Goldman Sachs, and they oversee the whole entire market. So they're trading like millions and millions and millions of dollars per day. I sounded like Trump there. Anyways, uh, um, they trade a lot of money in the forex market, in the stock market. And so I saw their whole setup. Like, I went to my buddy's office one day and I was like, wow, like this is absolutely insanity. Like, this is crazy. And so I was learning the same way everyone else was learning, like fibs, just basic stuff. And I was like, okay, but there has to be more to it than just what people are saying, right? Because I learned from free stuff online, and then I communicated with other traders and stuff like that too. And I just said, this doesn't make sense. Like, there's something more to this. And so he was telling me, my buddy was telling me that he's like, it's all about price. And he's like, it's all about specific prices of where buyers and sellers are entering in the market and when they're taking profit. And he's like, it's all about price and numbers. So what I did was I went home that day and I back tested it. I looked at where the market rejected, where it ended up taking profit, just all these things. And so that's how I started this zone trading. That's how I learned everything, was just from his advice. Because he looked at TradingView and basically thought, like, I'm a peasant because their whole system is like completely like crazy. Like, it's nothing like you would think. Like, TradingView to them is like on a very, very low level, right? Because they're trading so much money, so much volume, right? So their systems are insane. But basically he's like, all Forex and stocks and stuff like that come down to his price. So that's how I learned this stuff, because I just back tested. But just from these numbers, this example is just showing you exactly how it's respecting these numbers and how you can take advantage of them. Like, how you can enter a market at them, how you can identify false breakouts, stuff like that. So this is something you really, really want to go ahead and back test. So just like this 131.5 level, candlestick body is closed above, boom. Like, it's just crazy, guys. Like, it's really, really crazy. So that's something I wanted to talk about. And then as well as, like, obviously sometimes, for example, I've talked about this in other videos, but for example, let's say it's at 131 to 46. You would round it to 250. Okay. Let's say it's at 1.31, 221. You would round it to 1.31, 225. Let's say it's at 1.31271. You would round it at 1.31, 275. Okay, so just quarters. So it's either even, so it's either 0, 0, 0, 25, or 25, 50, 75 for quarters, or like I said, 0, 0, quarter pricing, half pricing, 3/4 pricing. Okay, so these are numbers that you need to make sure you're paying attention to. I'll just put this up here so you can write this down. So yeah, that's how crazy it is. So we can take, like I said, you mark up the highs, you mark up the lows. We want to get an entry at major structure. The only thing is like, when you're wanting to enter at major structure, you have to anticipate that the market is going to move a little bit higher before it comes down. And that's where it comes to impulses and corrections. So after an impulse comes to that major structure, comes to that specific price, we can anticipate that the market makers are going to take out our stops or move a bit higher to fake the buyers out, and then they're going to push price down. So that's the number one thing you have to watch out for. Other than that, like, this is literally the best thing. So make sure you back test this and let me know if this is confusing you at all. But I try to make it as simple as I can with the whole course. So just, yeah, let me know about that. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Don't share your login information or these videos or anything. I've worked so freaking hard to put out this content, and as well as like I've back tested this for so long, like for 4 years. And so I just don't want it in another person's hand where they're going to tell their group, like if they're in MLM or like a multi-level marketing company or some type of group, and they just share this with other people, like, and they charge those people. Like, I don't want that to happen, obviously, because I've worked so hard at this. So please don't share this with others. Please, please, please.